So I get to welcome back Faye, which is like such a joy for me. I mean, like half of what I do as podcast is I get to meet cool people and I get to like kidnap them for an hour or two and like force them to talk to me. So I'll take any excuse to chat with Faye, but she did come up with the best excuse ever, which was a new magazine and a whole lot of other life changes, which I get to see part of it in the background there. So that's a beautiful apartment. But do you want to start with the magazine or do you want to start with something else?
So yeah, I can chat about all the things that are going on. Thank you for having me back. I don't know if you can consider it kidnapping when I'm here of my own free volition and I enjoy talking to you.
Like light, like what's that's that thing that's called like Stockholm syndrome, light Stockholm syndrome.
It's like I'd be here every day of the week if I could. But yeah, lots of things have happened since we last talked. I was trying to think about all that we had chatted about last time. But basically, my life took a turn for the better in that I was doing a lot of disability advocacy and education on social media, and I really loved what I was doing. And I was trying to figure out, can I kind of make this into a job? Because unfortunately, I got bills to pay.
Those
You know,
things.
like I love helping out people and I'll always, help out people when I can, but I still got bills. We still gotta, balance this. And I'd love to be able to do this in a more professional level and have more resources and just more time to commit to it. And so I stumbled upon this thing called Independent Patient Advocacy. And I kind of really fell headfirst into it. And I've met some lovely people, some lovely mentors along the way who've uh, helped teach me what patient advocacy is. Because if you've been in the chronic illness space, if you've ever been in the hospital, you might have interacted with like patient advocates before in a setting, and they're there to like help figure out what you need, give you support, connect you to community resources, and help you deal with hospital payments, insurance, that kind of thing. But where the independent part of patient advocates come in, sorry, I'm like, I feel so like scatterbrained today.
You're doing great. I literally like broke my legs apart to go get coffee. I'm supposed to be on bed rest and there's no coffee maker in my room. So this was like an act of pure optimism to get like the bean juice to make sure that I could actually have this conversation in some intelligent way. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you. And if you have to take a break or, end it up early, it's okay because I get it.
I'm just sitting here listening to you.
Okay. But basically, might be familiar with that kind of patient advocate who works in the hospital setting or kind of a caseworker who, helps you navigate making appointments and things. But where the independent part of patient advocacy comes in is that we as patient advocates are not associated with any kind of hospital or insurance company. So we are working solely for the person who hires us.
So just to like make sure I got that clear, it's like the person who is at the hospital, affiliated with the hospital and the insurance, that's almost like going into your business and going to HR for help, where you're actually like they're there to maybe help you as long as it aligns with what the hospital and your insurance okay. But you're here to actually be the employment lawyer. My sister
Pretty
does
much.
this. Okay, I just want to make sure I got this like right. So you're here to actually fully advocate for the patient without giving the first rat's tail on what the insurance or the hospital wants.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
that's not,
fair?
yeah. And that
Okay,
isn't to
yay.
shame anyone
The
from working
coffee
in
did
the
work. I told
hospital.
you it was worth
There
it.
you go. There you go. It was worth it. Good job. Yeah, and that's not to throw any shade on anyone who's a patient advocate for hospital. It just means that a lot of times there are more limitations from what you can do in, helping patients because you are working for someone who deals with insurance. So there's just more limitations on what you can do. And that unfortunately, no matter how much you want to help the patient, it has its limitations and you're
There
not as
are
able to do that.
bureaucracies, red tape, things that they have to deal with that you don't have to.
Exactly. And so there's a lot more freedom in that. And so when we're talking about independent patient advocacy itself, there are so many little niches that people have, right? There are a lot of retired nurses, retired doctors, retired billing professionals. Anyone from any kind of niche can join and be an independent patient advocate. And what they do is very specialized, depending on the person. So some people can literally like attend appointments with you, advocate for you, and be that kind of part of your care team and help communicate with doctors, set up appointments. Even like some people even help you weigh the pros and cons of certain procedures or medications and things like that. Other people who have spent their whole life doing billing and want to, do something a little bit more flexible and work for themselves. They become an independent patient advocate to help you fight insurance denials, get appeals, go through that really complicated process. I, as someone who doesn't have a medical degree or any kind of formal medical training or knowledge, I just have my own wealth of personal experience, kind of wandered into the field being like, I want to do this, but I'm not a nurse like that person. I haven't really worked in a hospital. Can I do that? And they were like, yes, actually, we want more people like you in the field. So where I find myself is kind of in this niche of survivor support, quote unquote. Have beef with the name, but it's okay. And basically, I'm here to like help people who are either undiagnosed, newly diagnosed with chronic illness, and navigate them through the system, help them learn how to be better advocates for themselves, connect them to resources, outside of the hospital setting, and help them just learn how to better navigate this new change that's going through.
I am obsessed. Also, I have a few questions for you, but one of the things I just wanted to mention, and I hope that I know that we do have doctors who listen to us, and we do have some people like who are nice enough to reach out and let us know that they're actually in official capacities who do listen. And thank you. Please start listening to us. It's really important. And I actually just applied for a PhD program in
Ooh,
Scotland to do. I wanted to work with pediatrics and how we give information to children and to their parents, and work on doing that in a better way. And they let me know that they only allowed in practicing doctors and nurses, but they were really interested in my advocacy work. And they were like, we are now in discussions on opening this up to actual chronic pain patients,
ooh.
because we're realizing that we're only getting an echo chamber. And I'm so glad that you're talking about this, because it feels like what I'm hoping will actually end up happening is you'll end up with a very large business where you're going to have different kinds of advocates for different things. Because what you're doing as someone who is chronically ill, who's gone through this process for a decade or so,
Yeah.
I know they look young. I know.
Oh God, I know.
I
26 is
know that this
approaching.
person looks 19. I am aware, but no. But you've been through all of this, and our life experience is worth a lot. And
It really
that's
is.
important too. And I think that also your compassion and your ability to go through this is very different than someone who's just been on. And no, not just a nurse. I'm sorry. There's so many of you nurses. I freaking love and hate you guys, depending on who you are. Your experience is important too, but ours is really like the lived experience needs to at least be weighed into this. And I'm really loving you're doing this. I'm hoping eventually you'll get like a large business where you'll have like a lot of different specialists there to help out with all aspects of this.
Oh,
It's
I'd love to.
exhausting. It's this full-time job advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
sick and exhausted. Like we can barely move. And how am I supposed to remember to like follow? Like I have a biopsy result I haven't even checked in on because I just remembered right now it's been 3 weeks and no one's called me.
Okay,
And
I'll remind you
cancer,
at the
and
end
I
of this
can't even
call.
remember to call. Like
Yeah,
we're exhausted, tired, and over medicated. Like, how are we supposed to remember all this stuff?
I know. I'm like, it's so overwhelming, especially when you're brand new to it and you're like, oh, why did I
Overwhelming.
suddenly get referred to like 7 different doctors? I don't know what any of this language means. What are you telling me? I'm sick, I'm tired. And so
And then
my
getting
job.
bounced. You're getting bounced. Like, if you have POTS, you
Mhm.
get neurology and cardiology not fighting for you, but fighting who has to deal with you. Because you're going to get
Yep.
thrown back and forth. Ehlers-Danlos, don't even try the rheumatologists. Maybe you go ahead and try them, but like, I can just tell you from personal experience, they kicked me out of the office. And not because of my bad sense of humor, for once.
Yeah, it is exhausting. And so really my job is to help kind of take some of that like administrative weight off of your shoulders, right? I can't diagnose you, I can't prescribe you things, but I can be there to be a support system, and I can at least like send you names of doctors who are like well recommended, well reviewed, who are knowledgeable in your stuff, and take a little bit of that, off your plate. And I think,
So we're in
go
the
ahead.
trans week right now. This is trans awareness week. And I was wondering if like that's one aspect of the care you're giving is to make sure that people who have different identity, people who are trans, people who are non-binary, people who are experiencing different things that do not feel safe with certain doctors,
Mhm.
get the proper doctor that will not make their lives harder.
Absolutely. I'm like,
Yay.
that's at the core of my mission is like, let's make sure you have someone who, like, first and foremost, is safe and you're comfortable to talk to. Because at the end of the day, if you have a doctor who is open and is open to collaborating with you and listening to you, even if they're not the most knowledgeable person in the world, they're open to learning. And we gotta, sometimes you just gotta start there. but your safety and comfort is like number one.
It's so important. I wish more doctors understood how important that bond is. Like, I know you guys don't have time with us. I get how fucked insurance has made your lives. I totally understand. I have a lot of friends who are doctors. But if the first thing you ask me is what my pronouns are, I love you. And I'm already ready to like listen. And I'm cis. But it means that you care about other people and you actually care about our comfort in your office.
Mm-hmm.
So just basic human respect is a lovely place to start. And calling around trying to find the proper doctor is just beyond. And then if you're my age, you probably have a kid who's sick if you're sick. And you probably have a parent you're taking care of. And you're trying to take care of yourself. Oh my God. I
And
just I love what
exhausting.
you're doing. So what is this gonna look like? Well, you have a website where people can come to talk to you. What is your pricing structure? How does this all work?
So I can get into the nitty gritty of that because I'm doing my patient advocacy a little bit different than a lot of other patient advocates out there. Because a lot of patient advocates are very one-on-one and take on a lot of very complex, heavy cases. And so that means that you can only have a couple clients at a time. And that works. There's a like big market for that. And there's a lot of people who need that. For myself, I don't think I have the capacity to do a lot of that. But what that means is that I was able to make my services a lot more affordable for people who are kind of in the middle of who don't need super intensive one-on-one care, like who meeting every week, have 20 doctor's appointments lined up that we need to prep for, but who also just need a little bit of support, need a little help. So my practice is actually up and running. We just started on the 1st. So that was 10 days ago.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. It's called the Butterfly Guild. And I'm hosting it on Ko-Fi, actually, because I'm offering memberships and then individual services. Uh, to elaborate on that a little bit, my memberships range anywhere from $2 a month to $45 a month. For the lower end tiers, you get to join a monthly call where I talk about different issues that are affecting the disabled chronically ill community that month. It's called Educated Advocate. So that could be really anything from navigating family discussions around mobility aids, surviving the holidays with a chronic illness. This month's is actually going to be, gosh, I forgot the exact title of it, but it was like how to survive fascism, finding free or reduced healthcare, food, and other like miscellaneous housing resources and things
Well,
like
there's
that.
nothing more important right now. That's the number one.
Yeah, I was really excited to do the whole let's talk about surviving the holidays with chronic illness because those are coming up, and then I was like,
Twitch.
oh, there's some more important things right now. So that call actually for this month, you don't have to sign up at all. You don't have to pay any money. All you have to do is go to my website, and there is just a little join button. No money involved. So you'll get the link for that, and that call is on November 27th. If you guys are
Well,
interested.
I will definitely be there if I am sitting up and cognizant. That sounds amazing. This is
Thank you.
I firmly believe that we are better than our government. And I think that's true for just about every government. I think the people are almost always better than their leadership. And when our leadership fails, the only thing we can do is join together in community and search out who needs the most help and figure out how to get it to them.
Absolutely. There is a lot of scary stuff going on, especially here in Chicago right now. And the one thing that has like kept me going and given me a lot of hope is the outpouring of community support and seeing how much the city and the whole country has really kind of rallied together to help each other.
And also just saying, and I know there's a lot of you in other countries who are listening right now. If you're like, what the heck are they talking about that you need patient advocacy? Okay, let's just do a quick rundown. And I promise this will be less than a minute. I'm good at this. I'm fast. I've coned this message. My last ER visit was 3 hours long. I was charged $1,300 to walk through the door. I was charged $900 per IV stick and $1,300 per banana bag, per magnesium bag. They charged me $18,000 for a CT scan. This ended up being like an insanely, like almost $20,000 3 hours where I received no medication, just the CT scan and the banana bag. So when we're talking about this, oh, and a $1,300 ambulance ride, that was less than a mile and nothing was done in the ambulance. So when we're talking about these costs, the reason I had to pay this without my insurance was because my insurance said, since it wasn't an appendicitis, since it was only an ovarian cyst and I didn't have an appendicitis, they were not going to cover that CT scan. The only way to find out was to do the CT scan. So when Faye is talking about like we need help to advocate for these things, this is what we're talking about. I was almost denied a biopsy for breast cancer when I have a family history because the guy said, you're just a woman. If you're going to be worried and nervous, I'll go ahead and do the biopsy. But, only if you're nervous and you're like my wife and you're going to be, yeah, that expression
Yep.
is why my husband tells me you are no longer able to talk to doctors until after the care is given, honey. Because I
Yep.
get snarky and bitchy. Like, literally, my son's birth, the doctor would not speak to me at all. Like, walked out of the room and just did not talk to me because I don't hold my tongue and it gets me in trouble, which is why I need an advocate. So we all need to be able to have advocates. And I'm guessing if you're in another country with socialized medicine, you probably need an advocate as well because NHS is not funded the way it needs to be funded. So you need people to be able to tell you this is the kind of doctor you need. This is how you fight for it. And this is the language you use. And this is the tone you use because we all know that stuff matters in getting what we need.
Absolutely. I'm like, I in a perfect world, like I would love if this job didn't exist, but we'd have to be in a
Right?
much better spot for that.
We need the end of capitalism for that one. Like,
When's the coming? No.
I don't know. Every time I think we get close, Schumer jumps in and is like, you know what we need to do? Remove our spines. That's probably the most medically sound thing we can do as like a Democratic Party is to just take our spines out. Sorry, the morning's news really got me. I'm having a moment.
It's okay. I've had like 12 mental breakdowns this week. We're not even halfway through, but it's okay. Yeah, no, we're living in a
The
time.
countries, we are not okay in America. We are not okay. And none of us thought that the end times included emails and business lunches. None of us.
True. At least like let me wear a cute outfit and go.
Where's the chicness of this? Like I figured we'd at least have an aesthetic.
Truly.
I didn't realize I'd be doing all of like the apocalypse in my like comfort pajamas. Like,
Yeah.
so you also started a magazine, is that right?
Yes. So as part of the memberships that you can join in the Butterfly Guild, I started something called the Good News Gazette. And it was born out of this idea of like, I go to my mailbox and I get depressed because all that's there are like bills and stupid spammy credit cards that are like sign up so you can put yourself in like 20K more debt. And I'm like, no, stop. This is making me so sad. I go to work. I get sad at the state of the world. Where's my little spark of joy, right? So I decided I would compile like all of these like positive news stories, good things that are happening in the world, in the community. These showcase artists that are, producing really cool work, like poets. They can put their poetry in this magazine. I want everyone to send in their pets so we can all vote on them as a guild and do pet of the month, just to like have a little physical piece of mail that you can look at, you can flip through. There's some little like activities in there, coloring pages, word searches too. So just something that's like really interactive, really fun to just like make you look forward to like one thing during your day. And the other cool part about this is if you're in the $15 or $45 tier, you get a physical copy of this, but you also get a physical art print or like sticker print from a commissioned artist every month. So who's also in the chronically ill disabled community. So you're also getting a little cute piece of art with that and supporting, a local artist. And I really love that. Also, this month's print was done by me just for logistical reasons. But I have some really talented, awesome artists on lineup for next month and the following month. So I'm very excited for that. And even if you aren't interested in signing up for a membership or getting a physical print in the mail, you can still read it virtually just by, again, joining for free. So,
Has there been anything that surprised you in the submissions? Have you been getting a lot of them?
yeah, I've been getting a couple of them for sure. Some people have shared their good news of the month. We have so many talented artists using mediums that I hadn't even like considered.
Oh, what have you found? I love this.
Oh, someone made this really beautiful quilt. Someone who was doing ceramics. Someone who did like a Mod Podge whale shark thing. It was big. So there's just like I was expecting, I don't know what I was putting together originally. I was like, oh yeah, I'll just do some, like, I'm sure we'll see some digital artists, we'll see the paintings, you know. Well, I've been blown away. I've been like, oh my God, I need to expand my mind as to like what kind of art people are creating because it's impressive. And I'm
You
excited.
were talking about like good news, and I don't want to like drag it down. So I'm going to try to say this in an uplifting way, which is it amazes me how much like artists exist in our disability community and how incredibly talented and creative we all are. And then it exhausts me with we keep getting sold AI, generative AI, as like a hey for disability. And I just want to scream from the top of like every mountaintop because I'm an artist. I'm disabled. I dislocate by moving. I dislocate drawing. And what do I do every day for 3 to 5 hours? Draw.
Hmm.
No AI. Like I'm so glad that you're showing off like real craftsmanship, real art. And everyone everywhere, we're all experiencing a lot of stuff. Joy is the revolution. Joy and creativity is the revolution. That's how we exist, how we win, how we remember what we're fighting for. So I'm so glad you're doing a magazine on this. I had a magazine like this planned for the last 5 years and I could never get it together. I am so grateful that you are doing it. Like it's gonna be amazing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I would love to hear all of your ideas that you've been plotting for, a couple of years now because we can definitely work together on this if you want.
I have no proprietariness to me whatsoever. Zero. Like, if you like an idea I throw out there, run with it. Chances are I will never have the energy to do it. I'm good at ideas. I am crap at follow through. The fact that any of these episodes make it out is, you all should be impressed. Yeah,
I am because
that's my win.
yeah, I am impressed because I hate the whole editing, sitting down trying to figure any of it out. So I'm always kudos
Oh,
to you.
you think editing happens? No editing happens. There's no editing.
That's so
None.
fair.
I gave up. Like, when all of our interns left, I was like, "Oh, so that's what these episodes are just going to be raw. Just
You know,
real."
and that's okay. There is something really nice about the rawness, the realness of it all.
For me, like a lot of what I didn't do in my life was because I didn't think I was pretty enough, old enough, young enough, thin enough, good enough, smart enough. You're not even close to my age, but I just want to tell you the joys of hitting the late 40s, early 50s. Your hormones change. Your ability to give a fuck, gone. Gone. You just instantly become swamp witch, and I love it. And like
Well, I
my
can't
ability
wait.
to, it is the most freeing thing. I am so furious at my hormones for holding me hostage for 30 years caring. Like, not caring about other people. I've always cared about other people. I will always care about other people, but caring what people think about me has like almost died entirely. And I love it so much because I don't want anyone to not put something out because it's not perfect or they're not perfect because nothing ever is and no one is. So the only thing you can do is put out what you got. The only thing you can do is be as good as you are. That's it.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't wait to reach that because I feel like my
You're going to
whole
love it.
year of 25 has been really focused on just do the thing. Just do it because this fear of perfection has been holding me back my whole life. And so I think I'm slowly
Sweetie,
getting there, but like I can't wait to just be older and then not care. I can already feel it coming.
that is, sorry. This is the joy of being disabled is you get infantilicized at such an insane level that I am almost 50. I am like well into middle age and I still have my mother calling me to make sure that I'm ready for my doctor's appointment. The best was like when I was at like a little baby shower for my cousin and I couldn't drive there. So I had to sit there and wait for my mom to come pick me up in front of all my cousins who are like huge professionals. And they're like, "Oh, so what are you doing with your life?" I'm like, "I have a cute puppy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at going back to school. Apparently, I am 10, is what is happening."
Yeah, that is such an unfortunate reality. But like I should be more normalized of just, you know what? You can't do work, traditional work, but like you have such a cool and amazing life regardless. You do like fun hobbies, you host this podcast, you have a dog. Like
I have 2 kids.
exactly.
It's an interesting thing when you become disabled, and I wish we could look at it a little harder with clear eyes on universal income. And Ireland has just done this for their artists, where they're giving a universal income for artists, saying this is important. And that's the thing about capitalism is we show what's important through our money. This is using that in a good way. This is saying our artists are important. What used to happen, I also run a podcast for kids on history, and I did a whole thing on robotics in history, and like going all the way back to the ancient Greeks and even further. And in like Mesopotamia, they had robots because they put their money into scientists. So the courts would like fund scientists, and that's where you get this exciting thing. So when we like do universal income for things, it allows people to be more creative, more kind, more community minded. So you are able to run a magazine to, not that you're getting universal income, but you are able to, wouldn't that be nice?
I
Right there with you.
wish.
Yeah. But I do in the form of disability. I get disability and I am insanely lucky. And this is just luck. This is not skill. This is fucking luck that I have a husband who is a job that's stable, and my disability income usually goes to a lot of volunteer stuff and my doctor's appointments. That's pretty much what it covers. Is doctor's appointments, groceries, and we all seem in the disability community to donate the same $20 back and forth.
Yep.
And yeah, and that money allows me to host the website. I pay to do this podcast. I don't get money for it. I won't advertise on it. So I pay to do this. There are days I wonder what the fuck is wrong with me. But I do. And it builds meaning in my life. And I get to hear from some of you who are kind enough to say that this is helpful to you. And I cannot wait to see what you're going to do with this magazine and how many people, because think about it, like how many people don't get their work out there? I know that we have things like Instagram and TikTok, but it's really hard to get any, like, I can get 100,000 views from like just responding to someone. I can't even get 100 views on my art. Like it's so hard. So when you
It
actually
really
see your
is.
work in print, I mean, that's such a gift you're giving to artists.
Yeah, I'm like a lot of. I mean, I grew up being very creative, and I still have a lot of creative. I don't know, outlets and things, but all of the people in my life are just in some way, shape, or form. And I'm like, I can't promise that me printing your work in this magazine is gonna suddenly change your life and get you 1,000 billion views, but I don't know. I think all of us just need to lift each other up a little bit and just support one another, because like art is so important. Our world would be so boring without music or art hanging on our walls, or like the fun, like it would be so boring.
What was the first thing that happened in the pandemic? What did we all need more than anything? We needed music, we needed games, we needed movies, we needed shows. The first thing that we did as a society was to draw on walls. Like I
Hmm.
do not know why we don't understand how important this all is. It's the first thing we did.
For sure. I wish we as a society valued it more. And I wish we could go back to the Renaissance times when everyone would be like, okay, I'll be a patron. I'll give you money so you can just build a mural on the side of this building or whatever, like paint some cool stuff. Bring that back.
Yeah, can I live in a castle and y'all pay me to just paint? That would be great. I'd be in. That would be fine. I'll write a book.
Exactly. Billionaires, I've got the best idea for you.
Except the billionaires we have hate themselves. They fucking hate themselves. And they hate themselves because they're not creative and they're not funny. So we have Elon Musk ready to burn down the entire fucking world because he can't make a joke. We have Zuck and all the other ones. Oh, who's the guy who's doing ChatGPT? Altman. So I used to work in Silicon Valley, so like all this stuff is just so near and dear to like tearing my heart out. Like all these guys are like and same with Musk. They all want to be creative and artistic, and they're so mad they're not. That like Musk was like fighting with an artist because he wouldn't give him credit and told him like just be happy it's even out there. And it's like he's like, I could just do it on AI. It's like this is literally why they're doing generative AI, is because they can't. They are not willing to take the time to learn. They're not willing to, the journey has no interest to them, and there's no real art without the journey. That's why
Yeah.
AI is soulless. It has no journey behind it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my
No,
rant for the day.
it's okay. I mean, agreed.
I've had this fight about generative AI so many times, and I feel exhausted, but I feel like it's so worth the fight because it's not just about the art, it's about the environmental impact. And it's so frustrating to watch all that. And then I got to watch Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, where everything was handcrafted. And like this is why it's important. Soul, heart,
Truly,
journey.
you can tell. It's so easy to tell like what is AI generated. I mean, to be fair, things are getting very complex, but like you can always tell when there isn't humanity in there.
It's usually a vibe for me. I'm like at 98% at this point. Like even with the Sora, the new generation of AI video where they're like, you can't even tell. I'm like, I can. You don't have to have six fingers for me to tell. Like there's just, and you can even line the shadows up right. but there's always something that just hits wrong. It's uncanny valley. Like, we are so primed as humans to go, no, 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 don't like that. No, thank you.
I
No,
hate
did
it.
you read Invisible? No, The Midnight Library.
I think I have.
I would love to make everyone read this book. Like, it's what you were talking about like getting that like 100,000 views, like changing your life with like getting everyone interested. I wish I could get everyone to read The Midnight Library because it's someone who's like, I made my mom read it, and I hate recommending anything to her because she's very judgmental if I'm wrong, and I will hear about it for years. So it always has to be like at a high level.
Hmm.
I think she's read this book 3 times now.
Well, there you go. High
I
praise.
read it in a day. Like, I could not put it down, but it's someone who actually gets to experience all the lives. And it's someone who has all these different talents and things she could be good at. And at this one point, this one inflection in her life, she gets to experience all of them, from being incredibly famous on social media to a very quiet and still life, and just getting to experience those and what that would mean, or whether it was what it was supposed to be, and all those like terrors that I think a lot of us artists feel of like, are we reaching our potential? Are like, shouldn't I fight harder for this? Shouldn't I do more for this? And it was I think just as a disabled person, it hit me even harder than like even my mom, who's like annoyingly healthy. I hope it continues forever. But my God, it's a lot to like look at someone who's that beautiful, that healthy, that smart, and I'm like, really? Could you have given me some genetics? Any would have been
Any of
great. Thank
them.
you. Right. So stingy with those genetics. And when you don't get to cast a shadow, you don't get to be out in the world. And like, just finding out that the ripples in your life as you just live it are the point.
That's beautiful. I will definitely
Yeah.
go check out this book.
Please go read that book. Like, I'm like forcing it on everyone. I feel a little guilty for forcing it on everyone, but it changed how I felt about things and about how I felt about what I'm trying to accomplish and why.
For
And like,
sure.
I just think it goes right along with what you're trying to do with your advocacy. Now he talks. I'm gonna guarantee you that's my mom. I think it goes right along with your advocacy work and this magazine and what you're creating, because these are the ripples that you're putting out there. And I don't think that any of us get to fully understand what those ripples will do. You don't know what this is going to do for someone who gets their work published and sees it out there. You don't know how someone's going to react when they read that story or that poem from someone that hits them right. Like, you're facilitating something that's beautiful and important and building.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I really want this to be a thing of community because I realized I had talked to a couple people before when I was doing advocacy work, potential clients and everything. And the number one thing everyone wanted was community, was to be connected to people like them. And I went, well, yeah. And I went, that makes so much sense. And I could very well, give you all of the usernames of people who have the same illness or tell you tell you where to go. But I'm like, I could also just bring you all together. And that's why in some of the higher membership tiers, there's also just casual hangout calls. There's a craft and chat call once a month where you can just bring your craft. We can hang out, we can body double, we can, all craft together. And then there's the guild gathering where also another just monthly call where we're all going to come together, watch a movie, play a video game, learn. Eventually, I'll get some people in to teach us a new skill, new craft, new something, So I just really wanted this to be community focused because I am not the end all be all. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I know a lot of things, but there are a lot of things I don't know. But I've learned so much from this community, and just I want this to be a like thing where we all learn from each other and we all lean off of each other because community is like the most important thing.
If without the community, Ehlers-Danlos, no one would have even been talking about it. Like, it would still be just considered a circus disease. And it was community and everyone coming together to talk about this that really helped get the awareness out. Like, when I was diagnosed, I'd never even heard of that disorder until diagnosis. Until a year ago or 2 years ago, I had to have my phone to show doctors what it was. Now, almost every doctor I go into, they're like, oh yeah, yeah, I've heard of it, absolutely. When did this change? This is awesome. And that's community.
Yeah, I'm like there are, a lot of things that can be said for the chronic illness community. There's always something going on. But the thing that I am blown away,
You don't say.
there's always something. But I'm always blown away by just how willing people are to go out of their way, even though I'm like, we're all sick. We all have like negative spoons right now. We are running on empty. But everyone is always so willing to go out of their way to at least like try to help or answer your questions, welcoming new people into the community and being like, I was there a couple years ago. Here's how I, coped with this. Here's how you deal with this. So
Yeah, I've never met a community that is so, and I don't know if I'm just insanely lucky in that I very rarely ended up on the wrong side where I was dealing with the things that you hear about all the time in the communities, but my experience has been so positive with people who are willing to drop everything and like find the resources, especially like when someone comes to us who's trans and is like, I have to leave my house. My parents won't help. And I am disabled and I'm scared. And it's like, I've never seen a community come together so fast to be like, let's get the social workers. Where are you? What state are you living in? How do we get you to a safer state? Like, just, I have never seen people mobilize like this. And it makes
absolutely.
me so grateful to see that. This is so, yeah, and I love how much we adopt each other because I think a lot of us have families that aren't overjoyed to have disabled or sick people, and there's a lot of judgment and issues, and I love how we all like end up adopting each other into family.
Yeah, for sure. It's been a beautiful thing.
It is lovely. I know you have stuff going on today, so I don't want to kidnap you for too long, but I hope you'll stay on for just a few minutes after we sign off because I just want to go over a few ideas and see how this podcast can help you and get more word out for you because I think that as this community grows, it's going to be more and more beautiful. And I'm really excited to watch how this grows.
Well, thank you. Yes, I will totally stay on after and chat. Thank you for your time. I always love coming on here.
I swear, like you remind me so much of my youngest, and I'm like, no wonder I just like yeah, if you know anything about me, like I adore my kids and they are like some of the best things I've ever done in my life. And like whenever I see them, I'm like, oh my gosh, you remind me so much of like my sparkly little youngest.
Well, that's a high honor because you have an
If you
absolute
ever meet my
icon.
youngest, you two would get along so well. All right, everyone, be kind, be gentle, and whatever it looks like to be fierce. And absolutely just go right over to our show notes at www.invisible.broken.com, and I will have links to everything Faye. And if you're not following Faye on social media, may I recommend immediately? We've been dealing with some very entertaining stuff in the disability community on TikTok. Everyone seems to need to find a new social media influencer. I think you're in very safe hands if you go over to Faye. I think
Thank
that
you.
definitely just check that out, and we will have those links directly to all of Faye's social media and to the Butterfly Guild, which is that's just lovely. All right, everyone, do whatever you can to take care of each other because that's all we got right now.
Thanks.